Welcome back to KutzerEDU. I'm Faith, and today we're tackling a question that I hear from teachers often. How do I know if my students are using AI? Some of you have never touched an AI checker before, and others may use them every week. Doesn't matter where you fall, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what tools are out there, how students are beating them, and the real strategies that you can use to catch AI writing. Let's start at ground zero. AI checkers are tools that claim to tell you whether a piece of writing was created by artificial intelligence like ChatGPT. Popular names you might hear are ChatGPT-0, Turnitin's AI detector, and Quillbot. But the first thing you should know, they're not perfect. They don't actually know if something is AI, they just calculate probabilities. And that means they can be wrong a lot. Human writing can get flagged as AI writing can sneak through as human. And because of that, students have already figured out ways to beat the system. One example that they're doing, paraphrasing tools. They can run AI text through a system like Quillbot or another spinner, and detectors barely notice. I'll show you an example. I asked ChatGPT to write me a paragraph about balancing chemical equations, something we're doing in science class right now, and it spit out this paragraph for me. I can already tell by looking at this that this is AI. This is not something my students would be able to write. But if I take it over to Quillbot, and I gave that same paragraph to Quillbot, they have a whole tool to humanize AI text. So it took my paragraph from ChatGPT, it spit out something slightly different. This one has a little bit more of that human voice to it. And if I copy this over and I try to check it with a popular AI detector like Grammarly, it tells me that 0% of this text is AI. So our students are catching on that there are tools using AI to try to cover up for AI. There's a lot of things like this that they can do. They also do tricks with prompts, like telling ChatGPT, write this like a 10th grader who makes grammar mistakes. And it'll spit out something that has the same errors that they would do. And it works. They might upload a sample of their own writing and tell AI to match their style so that it sounds a little bit more like what you're used to if you've seen some of their other writing. They can kind of blend what they've already written with some AI text, have AI give them something, and then they throw in a little bit of their own writing in the middle. And then formatting tricks, if they ask AI to write something and then they copy it down onto a piece of paper, obviously you're probably not going to copy all of that off of a paper and put it through an AI checker. So that is another way that they're getting away with it. If you're brand new to all this, start simple. You don't need fancy tools, just look for patterns. Voice shifts are a really easy one. Sudden changes in tone, vocabulary, or sentence rhythm. If you have a 5th grader that's suddenly using the word colloquial, they probably don't know what that means. So check for things that really sound like your students. If it seems too perfect, if you have a student who's been struggling in a unit this whole year and they turn in flawless, polished writing, that's a red flag. Shallow content, AI often sounds impressive and well-voiced. It's very surface level, and it's not going to spit out the things that you have taught your students in class. So look in their writing for things that they should know about from your class. And then high-level vocabulary, like I mentioned, does your student use the word superfluous, but they're in 6th grade? Check for words that you know that they wouldn't use. And I have this free spotting AI and student writing checker that you can get if you join our newsletter with the link below. Now, if you're comfortable with AI, here's how you level up with it. Use AI checkers as first steps. Tools like GPT-0, Turnitin, originality.ai, they can help, but treat them like metal detectors. If it beeps, you still have to check the backpack yourself. Compare it to previous writing samples. If you have something else that this kid has written, a quick side-by-side can often reveal like big jumps in their style or ability. And make them do an oral defense. Ask your student to explain a paragraph out loud. If they can't tell you what they wrote about, that's a big giveaway. And then sometimes running suspicious text back through ChatGPT with the prompt, did you write this? Or giving the prompt that you gave the student to ChatGPT and seeing if you get a similar answer can help you spot patterns. I did this a lot with a class that I was teaching this summer in which students had to give peer feedback. When you ask ChatGPT to give peer feedback on a writing piece, it usually follows the same like compliment sandwich thing where it says, you did really good, here's some errors, and then it'll end with overall something good. And so I noticed if any of my students ended their little peer feedback with overall, that was straight out of ChatGPT. It tends to use those same voice cues that you can start to recognize. Here's something that detectors will never replace, though, your relationship with your students. If you know your students writing well, their strengths, their quirks, even their common mistakes, you're going to notice when something feels off. That alone can be more reliable than any AI checker. But don't just play detective. Have conversations with your students about what ethical AI use looks like before you give them an assignment. We're not trying to scare them out of using technology. This is something that they're probably going to need to get used to for their future jobs, but we want them to use it responsibly. For example, are they allowed to use it to brainstorm ideas? If that's a policy that you have in your classroom, they're allowed to do, great. Can they use AI to reword their own sentences? Maybe. Gets a little bit of a gray area there. Copying and pasting an entire essay and turning it in as their own? Not okay. When students understand where that line is and they know that you're paying attention to how they write, they're much more likely to make good choices. And if you suspect something was AI generated, the first step isn't accusing, it's asking. A quick chat can reveal more than any AI detector. Because at the end of the day, AI isn't just a problem to police, it's a skill for us to teach them. So here's the bottom line. Whether you're just hearing about AI checkers for the first time or you've been testing them all year, the truth is the same. AI detectors alone won't save you. The real solution is combining awareness, simple teacher instincts, and a few digital tools when you need them. If you rely on only one software for anything that you're doing in teaching, students find a way around it. But if you know what signs to look for, you're going to stay one step ahead. This is KutzerEDU. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a teacher who really needs to hear it.